Okay, so from the perspective of a retailer, right? Why should I be so concerned about how, Curated Create deals with staff and all of that? Like, what is my benefit as a retailer?
Okay. I think the immediate benefit that is indirect to from a retailer perspective is that it increases the possibility of staff retention, because I cannot imagine a staff that is more likely to cause problems or to put themselves in a position about dismissed is if this kind of benefit. Yebo. Yobana ziyancedakala in terms of the cash flow aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
That is the first thing. It improves into a staff retention, and it lowers into a staff turnover, a high staff turnover, right? The second immediate benefit that is felt directly by a retailer is that for every grocery Curated Creates grocery purchase by employee or retailer, a retailer ifumana rebates. Ne?
Okay.
A rebates that they can either use for tax compliance or monthly compliance services such as your PAYE, your VAT, your management reports, etc., your stock control services. So for every purchase that is bought through you, ufumana ezo rebates so that uzofumana ntoni ezo compliance services, ne? But say you already have your own accountant and you already have your own administrative things in place as a tracker, your own store. Another added benefit is that if you are a restaurant retailer or you are a retailer that operates a kitchen or a retailer that makes use of the things that are procured by your employees, such as your fresh produce products, such as fruits and vegetables, or your commodities as fanane, maize meal, flour, etc. Because of the group buying advantage, we are able to supply it to you at better competitive prices than you would if you as one retailer were to be procuring it yourself. So we are really trying to move towards a space where we have zero marginal costing that is taking place. And remember, we are building a network where your expenses are another entity's income. So we are inviting you to share with us your common trial balance expenses, and so that we can see within the network and within the space how we can best match your expenses and plug them to another's entity's income, and vice versa, another's entity's expenses, and plug it such that it connects to you. So if you would to look at it in a different perspective, to say that eventually your supplier will be a customer of your customer, either directly or indirectly, either via your employees or otherwise, because Curated Crates is not just an offering that is limited to groceries. It's an offering that is also inclusive of vouchers that employees can use. So we are trying to get to the consumer before the consumer gets to the retailer. And the most people who've got the buying power are people who are employed. So we are trying to get to those people first before those people think of getting to the end user, which is the retailer. And we're doing it in a manner that promotes sustainable spending, or that promotes healthy spending. Because remember, Curated Creates is all about sitting where now as a person, as a consumer, with a budget and say, this is the kind of budget that I have kakade for this month, either as a retailer or as an employee. If you had a certain budget of X, Y, or Z for any expense, it be budget that you are going to spend kakade. Do you understand? But now you're spending it where you are possibly going to earn back from it. And that is the power of SWYE, that is the power of Curated Crates, and that is the power really of the Tech Shop SWYE network. We're promoting an environment where you're going to say, how can my expenses trigger an income generating activity for myself and for my employees? So really that's why we exist.
for the day-to-day, how do retailers and employees alike access this networking system?
On a day-to-day. Okay. Well, it starts with subscribing to Curated Crates, right? So we've got online forms in the form of Google Forms that people can fill in. We've got physical actual forms, right? And also to complete those forms, you are then added into, your employees are added into a group ordering system, and we are able to vet you, the employer, and as well as your employees, to ensure that our interests and values align. To understand if we can be able to best serve you in a manner that means the most to you and your employees. And once we've established that, okay, we've got aligned values, that's when we take you through the process of onboarding you into Curated Crates, trying to understand your employee needs in terms of their interests. Because remember, combo that is relevant to me may not be combo irrelevant to the next employee. I'll make an example. In one of the retail spaces where we do serve as employees, one of those petrol attendants said, our combo back then did not cater for someone who does not make use of a flour. And one of those employees said, Bana, no, they are interested in our combos, but they don't make use of a flour. So we then had to invite people to suggest the combos that best fit their lifestyle. So it's all about understanding the entity and its environment and its employees to find out how we can best serve that environment in a mutually beneficial manner.
So that's the curated crates. So tell us how this selection works for employees further, because the benefit that they have on a day-to-day basis is going through different stores and like searching for this compatible combo. How do you specifically cater to the selection for employees?
Let's go.
Okay, so even understand you're trying to say in Dobana, how are we more beneficial? Because most currently people find it beneficial in Dobana to go out there and compare prices and jump from one store to another to see in Dobana, okay, i-combo zabo ziyahlangana na. I feel in Nobana we are stabilizing or streamlining the way that people do things. For instance, it's very common that upuma pendlini uzixelele into yobana uzawuspenda only 100 rand and upuma ufuna only these specific things because that's what your budget allows.
Yeah.
First of all, ufike evenkileni, you find yourself overspending. So ngoku we are trying to introduce into yobana i-overspending ingenzeki nakwi-basic things such as food. Or the vouchers that we are going to be introducing into Curated Crates, such as food and personal care items and basic household needs. Because overspending yenzeke after i-primary things do away with them. We're introducing a system that actually shows you ndobana i-budgeting ne-planning works, so that ungazibhaqi uthini usematyaleni. And we are sikunika la benefit on the onset yokubona i-benefit yokuthini yoba ne-extra cash flow. Because remember, uthenga grocery 1,000 rand, but awutsalelwe 1,000 rand upfront, is split into two portions, ubhatala 500 ngoku, ubhatala 500 in the next run. And eleke itsala la 500 sekukho enye ikhombo replace antoni nemali itsaliweyo. So immediately ke ngoku ikufundisa ukucwangcisa and ikufundisa ukuyielda to commitments, so that xa sowudecidile into yobana I'm going to go out there, it's a conscious decision, an active decision, and it's a decision ke ngoku that does not impact your basic needs.
Period.